What if I told you that the success of our entire civilization has less to do with a few geniuses like Einstein and, well, a whole lot more to do with the 70% of us who have what we'd call normal intelligence? Okay, let's get into this, because we're about to explore the whole fascinating pyramid of the human mind.
We always ask this, right? We fixate on these incredible figures. But honestly, focusing only on genius is like trying to understand a massive pyramid by just staring at the tippy-top stone. To really get it, we need to explore the entire structure, from the base all the way to the summit.
Because that's the real question, isn't it? Human progress isn't just designed by a handful of brilliant architects. No way. It's actually built by countless hands, every single person with a different skill, all of us working together to build this world we live in.
So, to understand the whole picture, we have to start where most of society actually is. We're talking about the widest, the most absolutely crucial layer of this human pyramid: normal intelligence.
Just look at this. Around 70% of everybody falls right into this range. These aren't the exceptions. They are the powerful, stable engine of humanity that everything else, and I mean everything, is built on. This group is basically society's center of gravity.
The source material has this quote that just nails it. They aren't just watching from the sidelines. No, they're the active players who fill our cities, who work the land, and who build our future, day in and day out.
Look, a genius might be able to design a cathedral, but it's the craftsmen, the people with normal intelligence, who lift every single stone and turn that vision into a real masterpiece. They're the merchants, the teachers, the farmers. They make society actually work. Bottom line, they're the ones who turn ideas into reality.
Okay, so now that we've got that foundation firmly in place, let's explore the edges of the spectrum a bit. Understanding these other levels is so important if you want to see the full, complicated, and beautiful picture of what it means to be human.
So people in this range might find abstract thinking a real challenge, but they often have this incredible talent for tasks that need precision and routine. And historically, they were the absolute backbone of agricultural societies. A figure like King Henry VI is sometimes pointed to here. Not because he was incapable, but maybe because he was overwhelmed by the intense complexity and the high-stakes decisions that come with ruling a whole country.
Now, to understand the next level down, there's this really powerful story from the Mongol Empire. So there's an emperor, and he's frustrated with his son's simple mind, so he decides to test him. He puts a ring in his son's palm and closes his fist around it. So what's the son gonna say?
The emperor asks, "What is in your hand?" And the son, totally focused, starts describing its features perfectly. He says, "It is round and hollow." All the data is coming in, and it's flawless.
The emperor, getting his hopes up, pushes him a little more. What could it be? All the facts were there. All that was left was to put them together.
The son says it must be a wagon wheel. And here it is. This is the key takeaway. He had all the correct data points, but he didn't have the context to arrange them in the right way. He just couldn't make that critical leap to realize that a wagon wheel could never, ever fit inside his own hand.
Okay, let's climb up the other side of that pyramid now. Let's get to the minds that analyze, that administer, and that really direct where society is going.
Now, these aren't always the world-changing inventors, but they have this sharp ability to see the bigger picture. Think of the Abbasid Caliph al-Mamun. He wasn't a scientist himself, but his intellect let him see the incredible value of knowledge. So he founded Baghdad's legendary House of Wisdom, and in doing so, he created an entire ecosystem for genius to thrive, kicking off a whole age of discovery.
Go one step higher, and this is where we find minds with this deep, profound ability to connect ideas that seem totally unrelated and create real, practical change. Someone like Isaac Newton, whose laws of motion completely redefined physics, or Caliph Umar ibn Abdulaziz, whose deep understanding of what society needed allowed him to govern with just extraordinary wisdom and foresight.
And now, we've arrived. We're at the very peak of the pyramid. This is where we stop just solving problems that already exist, and we enter the realm of creating entirely new ways of thinking. This is genius.
This slide just captures the difference perfectly. A mind with high intelligence can solve the most complicated puzzle you can imagine. A genius? A genius invents the game itself. They don't just find the right answer. They create a whole new question for the rest of humanity to try and figure out.
I mean, we are talking about the minds that open doors no one even knew were there. Einstein didn't just solve a physics problem. He fundamentally changed our idea of reality itself.
Back in the 14th century, Ibn Khaldun didn't just write down history, he created the entire science of sociology to explain why history happens. And all queries me? He gave us algebra, a brand new language to describe the universe.
It sounds like a superpower, doesn't it? And in a lot of ways it is. But what actually happens when your mind works on a level that is just so far beyond everyone around you? As we're going to see, it often comes with a really painful cost.
The hard reality is that seeing what other people can't see can be an incredibly lonely experience. When Galileo argued that the Earth revolved around the sun, he wasn't met with applause, he was put on trial. The price of being right centuries ahead of your time is that the very world you're trying to help might just decide you're a heretic. So this brings us all the way back around. It's not just about the lone genius at the top, it's about how the entire pyramid, the whole structure works together. Let's talk about the power of that balance. It's a fun thought experiment, right? Imagine a world just filled with Einsteins and Ibn Khalduns. Would it be some kind of perfect utopia? Probably not. The source material suggests it would actually be a world of endless arguments, a chaotic storm of brilliant new ideas being thrown around constantly, but with nobody left to actually build anything. The practical, day-to-day stuff that keeps society from falling apart would just stop.
And this leaves us with a final, really powerful thought. Maybe the greatest human achievement isn't any single invention or theory. Maybe it's this remarkable, delicate ecosystem of thinkers, leaders, and builders. All of us, working together to create something so much bigger than any one mind could ever dream up on its own. What do you think?